Hi guys, my name is Josh and I'm going to do the Disney Internationals program, and with this video I'm going to explain how I applied for it and how you can apply for it as well. So when I was looking online through videos on YouTube, there really is a lot of them telling stories about the Disney DCP program, but there are not that many on the Disney Internationals program. And although the work you'll be doing at the parks is closely to the same, the application process is not, because as an international there are quite a few extra steps that you have to take in order to get accepted. So with this video I'm going to tell you all the steps I took when applying for the Disney Internationals program, and these are probably the steps that you'll have to take as well. But I have to tell you beforehand, my process is probably a bit different than those of others. This is because my school works together with Disney. What this means is that Disney makes sure that the program meets the requirements that my school sets for an internship. But in return, Disney asks my school that we have extra classes beforehand, so before the program starts, to make sure that we're fully prepared for the theme park industry. However, I do have to say that although I learned a lot from it, I don't think that you're gonna need most of these things while working at the park. So honestly, don't feel bad if you don't get these classes. So yeah, how does this process start for me? Ever since I was a young child, I loved to go into Disney. My dad always used to take me to Disneyland Paris in Europe, and I must say that these are truly some of the happiest memories I hold from my childhood. So when I was looking for universities 2 years ago, and I was talking with other students, I found out that Disney had this relationship with my school that I could apply to. And at that moment I said to myself that if I was going to apply to this university, that one of those lucky students that would get this chance would have to be me. So that was a goal that I set for myself and I wanted to work towards. However, me wishing this does not automatically mean that it actually comes true. So I took the steps, and beginning this year when I got the news that I was actually allowed to apply for it and take the extra classes, I was thrilled. These are classes on the theme park industry, the financial part behind it, classes on Disney as well. They were really exciting, but I think there's too much to cover in this video. So if you want to know more about these classes or what they taught us, make sure to leave a comment below, and I'll cover it in another video. So after all these classes, we got the news that we were allowed to apply for a Disney internship. However, this does not mean that we would actually get accepted by Disney. It just means that our school allowed us to go there. So yeah, the first step we had to take was writing a cover letter and a CV, also known as a resume. And there are a few things that are important while writing your resume. One is that you keep it clean and only list the things that are really important on it. So your work experience, your educational experience, maybe languages that you speak, and other things. Another thing is to keep in mind that it should be professional, and you want to avoid having gaps within it. What this means is that you don't want a year within your resume where you were doing nothing. So either you should be going to school or working, unless there was a specific reason for you not doing either of those things, like maybe you were traveling for that year or you were really sick. And if that's the case, I would advise it to also note it on your resume, because otherwise the company is going to think like, why weren't they doing anything? Maybe they were just lazy. So because they don't know you, they're going to speculate on all these things. So you want to avoid that. Another thing you want to keep in mind is that you want to have no spelling errors and no punctuation errors, because when someone is reviewing your resume and they see these errors, they're going to think, wow, he's not or she is not putting in effort now to make a good resume. What does it tell about this person that is going to work for me? They're probably not going to put in any effort on the job when they work for me either. So this goes for Disney, but this also goes really for every resume you're gonna write in your future. So this is something to always keep in mind. So if you need any inspiration or anything, you can always go to Pinterest and just search for resume. Those pages are filled with all the information that you need. And also I'm currently building my own website, and once it's up, I'll leave a link in the description below and you can check it out, so you can look at my resume and maybe use it as a format for your own. After that, we had to write our cover letter, and a cover letter can be used to go way more into depth on the things that you've already stated on your resume. Maybe also cater it a bit more to Disney. However, do keep in mind that Disney is looking for people who want to work at the parks and really not looking for fans. So it is good to show them that you love Disney and all the amazing memories that they brought you, but you want to keep it professional and mainly focus on your strengths and the things that you can bring to the table. Another thing you want to focus on is all the things that you could learn from this amazing experience, because Disney College Program as well as the Disney International Program are a learning and working experience. So this means that you also have classes on the side, and Disney would like to know what classes or what things you would like to learn from them, and perhaps also if you know that how you can apply those things to your future. This really shows you that you're thinking ahead, you're invested in the program, and really you have a mature and professional way of thinking, which they would always love to see in people working for them. Lastly, it's important to stay true to yourself. What I mean by that is, if you have absolutely no experience doing something, or you're just not that great at it, just don't say that you are good at it. You could rather state it like, oh, I would really love to be able to improve myself on this thing, and turn it into a positive thing that way. But on the other side, it's also good that if you are really good at something, or if you have a special experience that others might not have, that you really explain it to them, because that might really be the thing that convinces them that they need to hire you, and that because you are amazing. You just have to show them, because they don't yet know you. And by writing this letter and just giving them a glimpse of what you are and what you can do, you can really show them how amazing you are and all the things you can do for them. So once they review their applications, we got introduced to our first Skype call. This Skype call was with a company called Yummy Jobs. Yummy Jobs is a company that's hired by Disney to do like a pre-screening for them. They go to see if you have the Disney look. This means that you have no tattoos, you have no crazy hair colors. For guys, you cannot have earrings, and you have to have a certain hair type. Don't worry about these things. The only thing that could really mess it up is like if you have a tattoo in a certain place, because you can always take out your piercings and do a different thing to your hair. So I wouldn't focus too much on that. Another things that they ask you is like, hey, are you aware that you're going to be living with 2 to 8 people, I believe, in an apartment, and also be sleeping with them in the same room? Well, not all 8 of them, but just a small portion of that. And they'll ask you like, hey, are you aware of this, and are you okay with it? Personally, I really love it. If I do get the choice, my preference would be sharing an apartment with 8 people in total, because I would love to make many new friends, and all the free time that I have, I could use to always go with 1 or 2 persons from my apartment to visit the parks together with other colleagues that I have. More so than when I only have one roommate and he probably has to work when I'm free, and vice versa. Once they reviewed our applications, we got our first Skype call with a company called Yummy Jobs. Yummy Jobs is a company that's hired by Disney to do like pre-screenings for the Disney Internationals program. I'm not sure if Yummy Jobs is the company that's hired by Disney to do all the pre-screenings for the international participants, or if they just do it for the Netherlands or just for Europe. All I know for sure is that they do it for my school. And they ask you certain questions like, are you aware of what's being asked of you and what the program means? They check if you meet the Disney look, and they ask you other questions like, hey, do you get homesick easy? Are you aware that the climate in Orlando gets very hot during the summer days and is usually a bit warmer than you're used to in the Netherlands and maybe in some other countries in Europe as well? And are you okay with sharing a room and an apartment with other students or other participants. For me, I personally really like it because it's a good way to make friends quickly, and my preference is to be in an apartment with as much people as possible. This might not be the same for you, but I just think it's a good way to make friends quickly, to go share your free time with. Another question that they ask you is what your preference role would be. For me, since the beginning, my preference has always been character performer. This is because I would love to transform the characters people love from the screen or books into real life and to entertain them this way. A question that they asked me after that is what my height is. This is important to know what roles you can fulfill. Don't worry too much about your height because it's not that there is just one specific height that goes for all the characters. It just depends what roles they need at the moment and if you meet that requirement. So sometimes they might need taller people, sometimes they might need shorter people. An important thing for that is that you have like strong back and shoulders muscles, because the suits can get really heavy and also really warm during the warmer periods of the year. But I also said that I'm personally fine with doing other roles as well, because although my preference lays with character performer, I'm aware that working is only one of three parts when you're doing your internship. One is working, one is learning, and one is living. This means going out with your friends, living on yourself in a different country, and like the experience as a whole. So although you might not have your preference with working, I think you can really make magic everywhere where you work, and yeah, you can make it an amazing time anyways. But yeah, it doesn't mean you have to be willing to work each role. After that, they are open to let you ask questions to them. Personally, I think it's always good to have some questions ready. This shows that you did your research beforehand and that you were invested in the meeting, in the Skype call, and yeah, you get some more information as well. So after this Skype call, you either get an acceptance or rejection email by YummyJobs, and then it's really time for the final step, which is your Skype interview with a representative from Disney. But before you have the Skype call, you first have to fill in an online form, like 1 or 2 days beforehand. In this form, all the different roles that you can work at the parks during your program are listed, and behind that there is like a box that you can tick, which says like how high your interest in it is. So the highest level is like, I'm really interested in it, I have moderate interest in it, I'm okay doing this, and I really don't want to fulfill this role. For me personally, there was one role that I did not want to work at, which was costuming, which means that you're usually below the park getting all the costumes for the personnel ready, and there is really no guest interaction, which would be the part that I really love, to have all the interactions with the other guests. So for me, this was not something I would be interested in. And other things, character performer and character attendee were my highest interest, and all the other things varied between that. If you want to know all the different roles that you can work at and all your tasks that you have to fulfill doing this, and want me to go more into detail about these things, just leave a comment below and I'll probably make another video about it, because there is really a lot of information that can be shared about that. So yeah, now the big day has arrived and I have my Skype call with a representative from Disney, and I must say, although I was a bit nervous beforehand, really there was no need to, because the person that interviewed me, she was really nice, and I'm quite sure that all the other people are that nice as well. She made me feel right at ease with her. She asked me a few questions, some I've had before, some I hadn't. They were mainly on like, how do you think about going into this and this with the program, and there's nothing really that hard about it. If you did some digging into the company and the program, you should know all of these, which you probably will know, because if you really are that interested in this, you probably already did all your research. So yeah, we actually had a lovely chat, and she asked me like, hey, why do you want to be a character performer, and what are your interests in it, and she once again asked me for my height and if I would be physically capable of walking around in the suit during the heat and with the weight that's on your shoulders. So yeah, I was really excited, and then she told me that I would get the results within 2 or 3 weeks after our call. So yeah, I must say the weekend that followed I was really nervous, and I was looking up even more videos online, and I was really getting hyped up on it, but on the other hand getting afraid that I might get rejected, although I don't think there was any reason for me to get rejected at all, because all the calls went well, but still there was like this tiny voice in my head like, oh, what if it's not going through and all of this was for nothing and your dreams are not coming true. So really I was getting a bit stressed, but actually I got really lucky, because I got my email the week after on a Wednesday, which is like really early. Normally people have to wait like 2 or 3 weeks, but I got it like within a few days. So I got really lucky on that. And yeah, my email said that I got accepted, and I'll show you the video right here of how it went when I got accepted. It's a bit awkward, but I want to share it anyway because it's a big part of my journey and my experience on the Disney program. So yeah, here it is. Okay, I'll read it out loud. Dear Josh, congratulations on behalf of the Walt Disney Parks and Resorts of the US. We are pleased to let you know that you've been selected to participate in Disney International programs as a cast member. And my role, yes, character performer. Responsibilities may include portraying specific costume character roles, working in hard confining heavy costumes, signing autographs and posing for photographs, interacting with guests outdoors and dining establishments, and some participants may have the opportunity to perform in the parade and or puppeteer roles. What? Damn. Oh really, this is really just all, it's what I wanted. They asked me what my number one preference was, and it was character performer, man. So yeah, I must say it was quite awkward showing that to you guys, but yeah, I was really so happy. All the dreams that I had, all my wishes had come true. I'm a character performer. I was baffled with the results. I was so happy, and as for right now, I just can't wait to start the program. After getting accepted, there are quite a few more steps you have to take, like getting your visa or your visa. You have to pay some of the fees ahead of time. There are some things you need to register, but I'm currently still in this process, and I think that if I'm going to explain all of these things in this video as well, it's going to be way too long. So for now I'm going to stop it here. If you want to know all the other steps, I'll explain it in another video. I really can't wait to do my program between the periods of July 2020 till February 2021. If any of you who's watching this is also going, please leave a comment below or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, because I'd love to meet and get to know other people who are doing it as well. And yeah, that's it. I hope to see any more guys of you out there, and bye bye.
The king of the swingers, oh, the jungle VIP. I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me. I wanna be a man cub, and stroll right into town, and be just like the other men. I'm tired of mugging around.